and made sure that it felt really special and different from the website, like it offered something different, but still, the same mission and point of view and everything.
So if you can go back to something you said that you started off as a teen magazine, and yet, just looking around the room, a lot of your fans are much older. So, how do you feel about having readers who are significantly older than you and that are sort of really tuned into what you're doing with Rookie?
I remember before it started, like when we were still planning it, thinking like, how are we gonna keep the adults out of the comment section? And it was like kind of a joke, but sometimes that is an issue. Adults are great. It's just when people are like, this brings me back, and I don't know. It's like feeling like your parents are reading it. I don't know, but I mostly think it's really flattering that when we met just before this, you said, I wish I had something like this when I was younger. So I think people are I feel like that the appeal for adults of Rookie is rooted more in that than like nostalgia, because I don't think we really romanticize being a teen. I think it's just a really nice, like, oh, these are things that I wish I heard then, but at least I can hear them now. I also think one of like the greatest flaws in a lot of media made for teenagers is that they're treated as being so much younger than a regular audience. And I feel like the fact that adults respond to Rookie in this way just kind of proves that there's really not a huge difference. Obviously, you deal with different things, but I feel like just talking to teenagers as normal people, that makes it kind of universal.
So, really great, yeah. I guess to kind of go back to sort of creating Rookie itself, where did the idea come from, and what was the process like in terms of just coming up with the idea to sort of making the site go live?
Well, I guess the summer before my freshman year of high school, I was entering high school. Middle school is awful. We all know that. There were just a lot of things to deal with, and I felt like, I was reading books about feminism, and I was also reading fashion magazines, and I felt like there was definitely a community of girls who I felt were like-minded online. A lot of blogs I read and stuff on Tumblr. But I didn't feel like there was kind of like a base camp for it. So, and I was also I had just found issues of the magazine Sassy, which was around for teenagers in the late 80s, early 90s. And it, felt very except for maybe the use of clogs, the excessive use of clogs, it felt so relevant still. So I felt very inspired by that. And I said I had kind of said I would love for something like this to exist now. And Jane Pratt, who started Sassy, got in touch with me and said I'll help in whatever way possible. So that was kind of motivating. And then I said on my blog that I was starting it and asked for people to send in their work to build up a staff of writers and illustrators and everyone. And we got about 3,000 emails. And then this woman, Anahi, who I had been in touch with because she read my blog and bought a really awful zine that I made, and she was like, I'm a freelance editor, I can help you go through all of these. And then we've kind of become the team. And so, yeah, I guess through we found a managing editor, and we found people to a designer and people to put all the pieces together, a very passionate staff that is still growing. I think in the beginning it was 40, and now we're at 70. So yeah, it's just been a slow, not slow, it's been relatively rapid, but kind of boring, technical, then we got a designer, then we figured out the dimensions, but and then once it started, it's the community felt present right away, which was very nice. And yeah, I think the staff, I mean, our staff, they're all so great. Like, I just have to gush because, I don't know, like we have a Facebook group where that just often becomes like group therapy and or sharing links about animals. And I think, you know, at this point, the idea came because I was like inspired by this kind of culture, and then our staff came together and they really understand like the mission of Rookie and embody it, and then our community is so great, and like we just had to hire a new editor, and going through the applications and seeing like people's pitches and ideas and feeling like this now has a life of its own that so many people understand. I like started crying because I was so happy because I felt like it now, I mean it's in my hands, but it has a life of its own, and it was just so nice. Like I felt like at this point, I mean I'll be a senior next year, so I felt like I can take a gap year, I can go off to college, I know that it will be in good hands, I know that this is something people understand, and I've just, it's like an incredible feeling of just feeling kind of united to like, you know, a niche, but like one part of the world. It's really nice. I don't know. I think you just asked like, how did it start? But there you go.